Here we are in St. Kitts and Nevis on the inaugural sailing of Icon of the Seas. So this was a big day for St. Kitts, welcoming Icon into port for the first time. You will dock on the side of St. Kitts. So you will be docked in St. Kitts. There are excursions for both St. Kitts and Nevis. Today we chose to take an excursion in Nevis. We've been to St. Kitts before, and we did an excursion around the island in St. Kitts. So this time we decided to change it up and go over to Nevis and see what Nevis is like.
Yeah, the dancers and everything else, they're always there to greet the ship when you come into port. So they really like the visitors that came on all the ships that came here. They really love tourism here.
Tourism is their primary source of income, so they treat the travelers that come to visit their island very well. When you walk down the dock, you're going to see any other ships that are in port. This particular day, we had a Club Med
Yes, Zone 2.
ship, and then we also had an Nevis ship.
What are we doing? They took to Nevis. That's that first line right there, young lady in the black shirt.
All right, thank you.
You're very welcome.
The first line, lady in the black shirt. I think we had to wait here for 20 minutes or so after we got into line?
Yes. So once you got into the beginning of the town of St. Kitts, they will have the lines for any excursions. They always have representatives that will tell you where to go and where to line up. So we got into line, and then they wait for everyone to make their way. Once everyone is there for the excursion, then they're going to take us over to a boat. So we had to take a boat over to the island of Nevis.
It was just a 30-minute ride, I think. But it was a nice day. The seas were calm, so there wasn't any problem with anybody. But there were free drinks on board. We just tipped them at the end. You can get water and things like that on the boat on the way over to Nevis. And it was really a nice ride, and being able to see Icon from the water is a really different way of seeing it. I mean, you finally get the way it's so big. It's unbelievable. And next to that Club Med sailing ship that was there, that was Club Med 2. It's just huge.
It gives you a different perspective. And as Mike said, they did serve drinks on board, and they did have alcoholic beverages. So I think they had a rum punch, beer, not a whole lot to choose from, but there are a few alcoholic beverages, soft drinks, and water. And it is unlimited on your ride over and then also your ride back.
Yes, and it was unlimited on the way back because there were a couple of guys who were they had a little contest of themselves between the two of them, and they didn't even know each other, how much each of them could drink. But the ride over was a little bit interesting. There was a couple on board that started, I guess, they weren't happy with each other, and it just continued the rest of the day. I mean, she would not sit next to him, he would not sit next to her, and they would just bicker back and forth, and Kat and I were in between them, of course, but it just got worse as the day went on.
Yeah, it was strange that they were airing some of their personal grievances in front of other people, especially people that they don't know. I personally, my guess was it was some sort of arranged marriage. And that's just from my own observation. I don't know for sure. but I felt that there was some
Major tension between
tension,
the two.
yes, between the two of them.
And it just kept going. And of course, you know that they got on our bus when we got over to Nevis, and they spent the day with us. And by the end of the day, the bus wanted to leave them a few places that were we stopped at. It was really amazing how they just all just kept screaming, "Just go, go, leave them here," and they had to get talked to from the driver to say, "Hey, let you have to be here back on time." When I say 15 minutes or 20 or whatever the times are, you have to. All I know is that be back in time.
Mimi, listen to me. Go. Come on, keep up.
I'm just saying that.
That's definitely 90 Day Fiance. The way he's ordering her around.
You think? Why wasn't he sitting next to her then?
I don't know.
When you come off the boat, you will enter an area. There's a gift shop, and you can get some snacks, and there is a bathroom. This will be your first bathroom break that you will have, and it may be a little while before you can go again, according to what we were told when we entered this area. So, our recommendation is that you go to the bathroom
I'm thinking about
before you get onto the bus. And from here, we're going to get onto the bus. Our excursion filled two buses. And yes, the couple that we were talking about earlier were on our bus. And I think that by the end of the tour, we almost had mutiny with all of the other passengers.
And Nevis once again was discovered by Mr. Christopher Columbus in the year of 1493. Right? So this is the Samuel Hawkins Drive. This is basically the Charlestown is basically the capital of St. Kitts, Queen City. Lovely place. This is Samuel Hawkins Drive. You come here over the weekend, have a bit of chill, look at the sea and relax. So our first stop will be the Alexander Hamilton Museum. And it is it's 1757 he was born. Right here in this part where I will show you, we'll have a picture stop and I will show you some more things there.
And he's so new.
And he is also on the $10 bill.
The one thing about this tour was, you went to Alexander Hamilton's house, and it was beautiful. But the strange thing was, then you had to pay to get into the house. So they just took you to the grounds of the house, and you weren't allowed in the house. And what was it, $14 a person, I think?
I don't remember the price. That sounds about right. So you only had access to the grounds, which there are plaques with, all of the accomplishments and the things that Alexander Hamilton did in his lifetime. There's a statue of Alexander Hamilton. You can see the outside of the house. There's one little area when you step inside that you can see, but you cannot tour the house unless you pay the fee. And this tour actually, I don't think, gives you enough time to actually do that tour. So that would be one recommendation. If you really want to go into the house, maybe do that on your own if you go over to Nevis.
But I was amazed that I was not aware until that day that he started the United States Coast Guard.
Yes.
So, that's what Kat and I really enjoy doing, is learning things while we're out and about, and getting an education and keep educating ourselves on the history of the world.
It is. It's an amazing place, and we learn something new every day, and we learn that we are much more similar than we are different. So now we're on our way to the Nevis Hot Springs. And the Nevis Hot Springs are the volcanic springs that come up, and they have 74 minerals within this water. It's 125 degrees, so it's very warm. It's supposed to be very relaxing, have healing properties. And we had the opportunity to dip our feet into the hot springs. You do have to pay $1 to the attendants that are at the hot springs because they give you a towel. You can wet the towel and rub it on your arms, your hands, your neck, and you can dip your feet in. We did pay the $1 to dip our feet into the hot springs.
But it is really hot. I mean, it took a few minutes to get in there because it was so hot. And that's the oldest hotel in Nevis that was built.
Yes, it's no longer open, but that is the first hotel that was built on the island of Nevis.
And this, they just showing off some of the different beaches that they have in Nevis. It's a little bit rocky there. It isn't like we're from the Northeast, so we have a lot of sandy beaches in where we're from. But it's really pretty. The water's nice, and it's just really beautiful.
Nevis is going to be the quieter of the two islands. I don't think that tourism is as built up in Nevis as it is in St. Kitts. And I honestly, compared to a lot of the other Caribbean islands, I don't think that tourism is as built up on either of these islands as it is compared to some of the other Caribbean islands that really boost tourism. And this is the oldest church in Nevis, and it's St. Thomas Anglican Church. And it was built in 1643. And it's on a hill and it overlooks St. Kitts. So you can see St. Kitts from the church. And it does have crypts and memorials within the church of many of the founding fathers of the island. Was very interesting. It's small, it's not air conditioned, so it was quite hot that day.
It really is a beautiful church, though. It's just beautiful.
That's the outside of the church. This particular stop, I think you had maybe about 15 minutes. And then we were off to the lunch. They provided lunch at a restaurant. And then after that, we had a little bit of time at the beach. So this was the stop for lunch.
The lunch was good. We had the jerk chicken, or they had like 3 or 4 different meals you could get, but it was a nice lunch.
Right. And the lunch was included. You had 2 complimentary beverages that were included, and that could be alcohol from a specific menu that they allowed you to order from. If you wanted anything extra, you could purchase that on your own. Unfortunately, we did not get any video of the beach. The beach we were not overly impressed with, and we really did not have a whole lot of time there. And then this is back in port.
Yes, this really surprised me. There's no way in the United States, in Florida, let's say the port of Miami, would ever let this happen. These guys were all over Icon. I mean, within 20 feet doing selfies of themselves riding back and forth. And then here comes out the pilot boat that chases them away. And this is later on in the day, but they were doing it all day long. I'm really amazed that Icon, the captain, did not call somebody and say, hey, you got to get these kids out of here, because it was getting a little bit crazy out there. But then when the police showed up, there was a standoff between the jet skis and the police were on one side, and there was like 10 or 12 of the jet skis on the other. And then they left, and that was the end of that.
And we were just concerned that we were getting ready to leave port, and God forbid they were still within the vicinity of Icon. Something could have potentially happened, but thankfully they moved out of the way before we left port.
And this is their fireboat that they gave to Icon to celebrate them coming in, and it was nice. I mean, they use whatever they have there, and they just have a good time.
Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, share this video, and give us a thumbs up.
Cat and Mike, the ship set sail on a journey that'll never fail. With